Today's episode is all about cooking for the family. I want to share a secret recipe that I use to feed my family all the time. We make this delicious family sauce. It is full of veggies. It is a brilliant recipe. And then I'm going to show you how to turn it into 3 different dishes, but the possibilities are endless. So let me tell you the ingredients first. So we've got onions, fennel, pepper, garlic, celery, courgette and carrots. So it is loaded full of veggies. We've got some stock, a little bit of wine, and we've got some tinned tomatoes and rosemary. That all together will make the most incredible sauce, and I'm going to show you how. So get my knives out of the way. So we are going to start with our onions. Now, I've got my new pan, okay? Masterclass, I've got some new colours. Have a look. So we've got the mint, lavender and hunter green. There you go, thank you, Emily. So we're going to use the mint colour today. So this is the big 5-litre one, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah? So we're going to start off with, get a splash of oil into the pan, and then we will get our veggies in. So onions first. Now, the smaller you cut these, the quicker everything will cook. The bigger the pieces, the longer the cook, okay? So we'll just chop a few onions, get that going. So the onions are finely chopped-ish, and we're going to get those straight into the pan. So let's get the heat on and get cooking. Okay. So you can hear that sizzle just starting to come up. So it's really important to get a little bit of salt in there first, straight away, just to get everything starting to cook. The salt will draw out the moisture and get the cooking going much quicker. So, now, if you have any questions about today's recipes, a bit early yet, I know, but if you have any questions, please post them in the comments below and I will endeavour to answer them for you. Right, so the secret is to really try and get as many veggies in as possible. Now, the carrots are the ones that will take the longest to cook. So these are the ones that I'm going to cut the smallest, all right? So cut them in half and then chop them. Good knife skills, good practice. We're going to chop them nice and small.
Is this something you could get like the kids involved in, kind of adding?
Yeah, I mean, my kids have been using knives in the kitchens for years now, and they're really good. They're not fazed by it at all. They just sort of get on and do it. And I mean, if you haven't got the time, or you haven't got the patience, or even the strength to do all the chopping, chuck it all in the food processor and just sort of blitz it up, get everything broken down. But if you've got the time, you barely need to chop these things. I mean, you could even chuck it all in the slow cooker if you wanted to. So it's really easy to do. Good way of clearing out the salad tray and the veg tray in the bottom of the fridge. Just get loads of veggies in it.
It's one of those recipes that you can say, well, I've got a bit of that left over.
Yeah, I mean, I've got all these vegetables, but if you don't have one of them, it doesn't matter. And if your pepper's red and not orange, that doesn't matter. You know, if you don't like fennel, don't add it, add something else.
Is there anything you would avoid putting in it?
Good question. Like what?
I was thinking things like aubergine, would that possibly not?
You could add it. I don't think it'd do any harm, particularly. You just want to make, I mean, the holy trinity is onions, carrots and celery.
Yeah.
You know, those are the 3 things. You know, in France they call it a mirepoix, in Italian they call it a sofrito, in Spanish they call it sofrito as well. So it's like the backbone of everything. In England we call it onions, carrots and celery.
Yeah.
We don't have a good name for it.
We keep it basic.
Yeah. So in with the carrots, diced nice and small. And that will get going. Right, peppers. Just cut the quarters, the quarters off. They will cook quite quickly, so I don't need to worry too much about those. Celery, I'm just going to go straight. Celery will give you a nice sort of savoury flavour. And it just helps balance it all out. I'm using a courgette today. I'm just going to grate that actually, because I can. I'm just going to grate it straight in, and that'll just blend away really easily. You could grate all of it if you wanted to, it wouldn't matter. There we go, in we go. See, grating, it's a really good, easy alternative. Now, fennel. A lot of people say they don't like fennel, but
I never used to until you cooked with
use it a lot, don't we?
Yeah.
Tomato and fennel go really well together. So in terms of a combination of flavours, it's not a primary flavour by any means. It helps elevate everything. So there's a little core in there. Can you see that core there, Emily?
Yeah.
You want to get rid of that bit. It doesn't really blend up. It doesn't really render. So cut a little V either side of it and it'll just get rid of it. But yeah, I use fennel all the time for loads of stuff. I love it. I like it raw and I like it cooked.
I like it raw now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't realise there were so many different things you could do.
You've got to make sure you cut it really thin if you're going to do it raw. As thin as you can possibly manage. So instead of cabbage in a slaw, works really nice. With tomatoes in a salad, works really well. It's a bit softer than onion. So, we're going to go in with rosemary. It's the one sort of herb that's sort of still doing well in the garden at the moment.
If you didn't have access to fresh, can you use dried?
Just use some mixed Italian herbs or herb de Provence or something like that. It's just a...
But you with your fancy words?
No. It's, yeah, just a mix really. And in the summer you'll have loads of different herbs. Oregano, thyme, sage, all those lovely herbs. So once that is going, let's turn the heat up because the moisture's drawing out. We're going to add a little bit of pepper. You can always season it later on. This is a base sauce, so you don't really need to season it to taste too much at this moment in time, because when we actually turn it into a dish, that's when you would season it. So, a little bit of red. You could use white if you want, wine. Red is what's open in our house at the moment, but if you wanted a lighter, brighter tomato sauce, add white wine. It'll burn the alcohol away, but it just adds a little bit more flavour and makes it more delicious, really. Okay, so last few ingredients. Garlic. I'm just going to cut the top quarter off so it leaves the rest of the garlic and it stays whole, because I'm going to fish this out later and squeeze it in before we blend it, okay? Or you can spend like 20 minutes peeling every single clove if you like, but I haven't really got the time for that. So, 2 400-gram tins of chopped tomatoes. Don't buy really expensive tin tomatoes for this job, okay? Because we've got loads and loads of flavour in there. I wouldn't want you to waste your money, okay? So 2 tins of tomatoes. And then we're going to fill them up with water, just to make sure that we get all the tomato out. Give them a wash, and then they're ready for the recycler. And then in with our vegetable stock. So I've got a pint of vegetable stock there, straight in. Get those last little bits of herbs, and then we'll just give that a really good mix. This now just needs to cook until everything is soft. Now, if you remember, the carrots are the ones that take the longest to cook, okay? So if you're fishing around, check the carrots. If they're nice and soft, it's ready to blend. So lid on, and we'll let that cook. Right, the sauce has cooked for about 20 minutes.
Yeah, look at that colour.
Now, all good flavours in there. Now, I've got my new favourite toy, my cordless stick blender. We just go straight in and just blend the whole thing together.
Is it something that you could leave, like...
Hang on, 1 second. Let's fish that out. I nearly forgot, but I didn't.
Is it a sauce that you could leave a little bit chunkier if you fancied it?
Yeah, of course you can. I mean, I do it like this because it's one less thing for the kids to moan about. They don't know how much has gone into it. But if you want a really versatile sauce, blending it all up is probably the best thing to do. because I'm going to show you in a minute 3 different ways of using it. But there are endless possibilities, loads and loads and loads. But you can see it's all just blending together. Last few bits. Ooh. Right, let's leave that there for a second. Right, I'm just going to squeeze the garlic in. So to give it a little squeeze, there we go. Get all those little nuggets. Whoa. Kerry would love that, wouldn't he? Between him and the kids, they'll never know. Right, let's turn the heat off now.
So you've initially got a soup there as well?
Well, it's a sauce. It's probably a little bit rich, but I am going to turn it into a soup. Okay. Right. So we'll take that off. Now, what I like to do is, I don't know whether I've shown you these yet, but we've got these stainless steel masterclass storage containers. I love these because they're perfect for batch cooking, for freezing. They can also go in the microwave, even though they're stainless steel. You can heat in the microwave and then whack them straight in the oven and they brown off. So they are absolutely perfect. So I am going to very carefully pour into the really big one what I'm not going to use, definitely. So I'll pop that there. And that can go straight, lid can go on. And I'm going to keep that in the fridge. And then when I've used everything that I need, it's going in the freezer for another day. So let's have a quick clean up. I've been very messy. So, right.
I suppose this recipe kind of makes for it, like, to make dinners through the week a lot easier for families.
Makes it so much easier. When your fridge is full of solutions, cooking's easy, isn't it? You just chuck it all together. So, I'm going to show you a couple of potential dishes. Let's get the oven on. Right, so I'm going to put the oven on to 180 degrees. Ready to go. Now, first dish takes a little bit of cooking. We're going to make a delicious Tuscan meatball pasta dish. It's really good. Okay, so just a few simple ingredients. Not a lot needed to go into this. So first of all, we're going to put some sauce in. Okay, so in with our sauce that we've made. I'm going to flavour it with a little bit of tarragon or fennel. Now I've run out of fennel seeds, so I'm just going to put a little pinch of tarragon in, which gives a similar sort of slightly aniseed flavour, which is very common in Tuscan flavours. This is very much inspired by something called finicuna, which is a Tuscan salami, and it's basically fennel, chilli and garlic. So we've got the garlic in, we've got the fennel flavour from the tarragon. I'm going to put a few capers in for some acidity, because I love capers. We'll add those in, so you'll get those little bursts of acidity. And then I am going to put a little bit of red chilli in for a bit of warmth. So maybe a third of a chilli. It's optional, you don't have to put it in if you don't want to. But I think it works really well. So that can go in. You could use dried chili flakes if you wanted to. Now, all I'm going to do is take some traditional British sausage, and I'm just, what's the best camera to show you how to do this with, Emily?
The overhead.
Overhead. So I've got the sausage, just going to squeeze it like so, and that gives me the perfect meatball. I'm going to pop that in. So you probably get 3 meatballs per sausage, okay? And all I'm going to do is just roll them gently. The butcher has done all the work and made me a lovely flavoured sausage. So I don't need to mess about with, you know, mince and eggs and breadcrumbs and all that sort of stuff. All I need to do is squeeze it out. So a third of that sausage, There.
Is there any other sausages that you could like use, or what are you using?
I would use your favourite sausage, one that you like the best. And you know, there's lots of different ones out there. There's some really nice sort of chicken ones which offer a lower fat option. You can have beef sausages, pork. If you wanted to do vegetarian sausages, you could cut them up into pieces. They wouldn't necessarily roll into meatballs, but it certainly would work. And I think you can get some quite nice sort of vegetarian meatballs now as well that hold their shape quite nicely. So you could just drop those in. Or if there's a really good veggie burger, you could probably roll that up into vegetarian meatballs. No problem at all. So, one more sausage to go. There we go. It's such a great, easy way to do this. So, that's it. Just make sure they're all submerged in. There we go. That's it. And then all I'm going to do is whack this straight into the oven. So that's into the oven. That'll probably take 15 minutes max to cook. So not long at all. So while that's cooking, I'm going to show you another way of using up our family sauce. So we're going to go vegetarian and we're going to go sort of Middle Eastern, North African. And we're going to make a really nice sort of warming winter dish, okay? So I've got this medium-sized one. I'm not sure the exact size, but it's basically twice the depth of the one I've just used. So there's loads of options. I'm going to take a red onion and I'm going to dice it nice and fine because I want this to cook at the same time as those sweet potatoes, okay? And sweet potatoes do not take long to cook. So the worst thing you could do is big chunks of onion and small pieces of sweet potato. So cut your onion nice and fine. You could use white onion as well if you didn't have red. No problem at all.
My questions.
I know. That's it, you see, Emily, we're like this. We're on it. So hopefully you will have seen last week's episode. We made the most amazing Nordic seed and nut bread. Absolutely delicious. What did you think of that one? You liked it, didn't you? And we also made some baked buttermilk chicken. Now, I know you made it at the weekend, didn't you?
Yes, it was delicious.
Was it a hit in the house?
Yeah. It's kind of nice having like, I would normally like think of just wrapping the chicken in a tortilla wrap and throwing it in a salad leaf.
Yeah.
Really like freshened it up.
Good. And you really liked the sauce, didn't you?
I could have that sauce on everything.
It's such a simple sauce that you can kind of make. You can make your own version of it as well. You can add or take away or just change it.
I couldn't find the exact Korean.
Oh, the fermented chili sauce.
Yeah, so I found another Korean person. It still had the same types of flavours, so it worked.
Good.
But
good.
Yeah, it was delicious.
Oh, that's good to hear. So if you missed last week's episode, go back in the Masterclass Facebook feed and you'll find it there. Or if you go to my YouTube channel, Peter Sidwell, you'll find all the episodes. We've been doing lives and Peter Sidwell's Kitchen now for well over a year. I actually had a look on the computer today and found the very first episode. And my daughter was down there. And now she's up here. So I showed her this morning. She wasn't very impressed. So we've got diced sweet potato and butternut squash, okay, straight in with our onions. I've got chickpeas packed full of iron, really good for you. And now I've also got some pre-cooked lentils as well, very good for you. Packed full of fibre, this dish, okay. Now we're going to make it sort of Moroccan, so we're going to add some cumin. I love cumin, so we're going to go heavy on that. And then I have got some harissa paste, which basically just takes this whole thing from that level to that. It is beautiful. And it's sort of chili and lemon and cumin and oil. They're actually salted preserved lemons in this, which give it that really authentic flavour. So once you, love that stuff, love it. Once you just add that, give it a good stir, and we're nearly done. So there's like, I haven't actually cooked anything yet. I've done no cooking. All I've done is chop. So nice even mix. Give that a shake. And then we get our family sauce, what's left. So that goes in there, and now I am on to this bit. Okay, so we'll just nick a little bit of this family sauce. My freezer is littered with family sauce pots all the time. We're always making it.
But like you see, you've got what people think you could only use for like one dish. You've now got
loads of options. You could add it to like stews and casseroles. You know, it can be just a straight pasta sauce. You can make your lasagna with it. You know, soups, all sorts. There's loads of options. So give that a little mix.
It's good because these obviously contains that use the microwave, fridge,
yeah.
oven.
Once it's cooked, you can just leave it, or you can whack it in the oven, microwave, whatever you need to do. Right, that's going straight in the oven as well. So this will probably take about 30 minutes until the sweet potato is nice and soft and tender. Right, last dish, okay? We're going to make a simple soup. And I'm going to add a little bit of chipotle, or chipotle, depending on where you're from. And we're just going to take a simple tomato family sauce. We're going to add some to the pan. And then we are going to add some vegetable stock. Probably about equal amounts. And then we just pop that on there, and we're going to bring that to the boil. Now, Emily, I'm just going to ask you, in that cupboard over there is the dark chocolate. You know the cupboard you try not to go into?
This one.
This one there. Don't pretend you don't know which cupboard the chocolate's in. Grab me a couple of pieces of dark chocolate, please. Just a small tub. Lovely. Right. Dark chocolate. One for the chef, thank you.
And one for the guests.
This chocolate is really, really nice, actually. It's really dark chocolate, sort of 80%. And we're going slightly Mexican with this. So 2 pieces of chocolate will make a massive difference to this dish, I promise you. And I'm going to add a little bit of chipotle, just to give it that authentic flavour. And that really is all it needs. I'm going to bring that up to the boil. And then I'm just going to grab a little bit of coriander, because I love coriander with this. It works really, really well. So the stalk, nice and finely chopped, because the stalk is where all the flavour is. Okay. There we go. And that can go in as well. And now, as soon as that has come up to the boil, we will have the most incredible Mexican-inspired tomato soup. That little bit of dark chocolate in there is going to melt and give it a richness. The chipotle gives you that sort of smoky heat, and then the coriander gives a lovely bit of fragrance. So while the other 2 dishes are cooking, we've made a quick soup as well. Right, here's the meatballs. They have just poached gently in the sauce, okay? I'll grab the tagine as well. There we go. Let's pop that on there as well. And let's just finish these off. Okay. Right, so I've got some cooked spaghetti here. Nice and simple. All we need to do now is just take our meatballs, add them to the pasta sauce, and then we will just heat that up. And the flavours and the smells will just be amazing. And let's just pop that on there. I'm actually just going to pour it now. There we go. All done. Super easy. We'll just let those marry together, and that is our stunning Tuscan meatball dish. And then we've got our tagine here. So everything has just cooked together. I'm just going to serve some up in this bowl here. And we're going to finish it with a few herbs and spices, bit of yogurt. It'll be absolutely delicious. Pop that onto there. So I'm going to grab some fresh mint because it just works so well. Just tear it up. On it goes. Lovely. And then I've got some lemon and some yogurt. For me, the perfect accompaniment for this dish. All it needs is just one lovely spoon right in the middle. That'll do, and it just kind of cools it off and just works. And then a hint of lemon all the way around. And that is a super simple, easy vegetarian dish that tastes blooming delicious. And then we've got our Mexican style soup. I need to find the ladle. That'll do. So we'll ladle that in. The chocolate has melted now. And it's sort of just darkened it a touch. And it gives it this real depth of flavour that just, it's really hard to explain in words. I'm not clever enough. I don't know the right word for it, but it really does work. And it adds a sort of a layer of flavour, and then a little bit of oil gives it a nice silkiness as you're eating it. There we go, that is our soup. And then finally, we've got our pasta dish. So let's see if I can serve this up without making a mess. It could go either way. My son will be all over this dish, I know he will. Now, if you want any of today's recipes, please scan the QR code along the bottom. It'll take you straight to masterclass.co website. And on there you will find all our recipes from all the programs. And if you want to go back to any of our previous episodes, go straight back on the Facebook page. Make sure you share this program with your friends, because we're a bit greedy, really. We'd like some more audience figures, please, if that's all right. Don't we, Emily?
Yeah.
So we've got our 3 dishes there. I'm just going to finish that. I've got a little bit of fresh basil here. Always works on pasta. There we go. Sprinkle of black pepper, and always a nice drizzle of olive oil at the very end for pasta for me, because it kind of gives it that nice silkiness. But there you go. That is how to make a delicious family sauce that you can turn into so many different dishes throughout the week or the month, whatever it might be. And then I've got 3 simple dishes here. Go to the website and find all our recipes. But thank you very much, and I will see you on the next episode.